Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Erongo Talk. My name is Leandria Low and today I join you from the Tidal Pool that is at Langstrand between Walfish Bay and Swakopmund. Now as usual I bring you the latest news, the weather and tides, and then for our interview for today we chat to Councillor Siska Howard. Now she's going to talk about the recent food donations she did through her office as well as other various projects she has taken on. So please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. And now it's time for your news, and we're coming to you from the Tidal Pool here at Langstrand, that's between Walfish Bay and Swakopmund. Now the chairperson of the Erongo Regional Council, that is Siska Howard, recently handed over food parcels to the underprivileged residents of Swakopmund. Now 54 residents benefited from the donations, which Howard initiated through her Swakopmund regional office. Now we received funding from the ERC and decided to buy food parcels. Now the food bank that is currently running through our office found that there is a need for food. Howard is also the Swakopmund constituency regional councillor added that there has been an increase in people approaching our office asking for food assistance. Now she pointed out that although only 54 people received parcels, they are substantial. Now one parcel contains a bag of mealie meal, cooking oil and other food and can feed a family of 4 for about a month. The impact is much bigger than just the 54 people who benefited. Now Councillor Siska Howard is also our interview for today here on Erongo Talk, so she's going to tell us a bit more about this project and other projects she has done through her office. Now, moving on, a suspect wanted in a case of housebreaking and assault, that's Leonard Pillay, was detained at Oshikango on Sunday morning after top-off from a member of the public. Now, according to Erongo Police spokesperson Eleni Shapumba, the suspect was found together with Daniela Bekes, who's 22 years old, was reported missing in Walfish Bay. Now, Shapumba confirmed that both were taken to the Oshikango police station at around 2 o'clock. That was on Sunday morning. Now, arrangements are underway to bring them to the Erongo region. He praised members of the public and the media for involvement in their speedily resolving the matter. Now, Bekes went missing on Thursday, and according to Shapumba, Bekes allegedly disappeared from a residence in Rekumbi Kandanga Street, which she shares with a male friend in Walfish Bay. Now, she was last seen by her boyfriend and that day at about 10 o'clock when he escorted her home. It is alleged that her boyfriend was later attacked by another person, a South African man identified as the suspect. Now, the suspect also allegedly stabbed and injured another person in the stomach. Now, the victim, who is Daniela Bekes' friend, did not yet open a case. But as I've said, Daniela is safely at home. And then just finally, MTC's Chief Human Capital and Corporate Affairs Officer Tim Mekanjo says that the telecommunications giant made the Namibia Football Association Cup possible not for leaders but for the players. Now the next 3 months will provide a platform for many footballers who thought that they would never play the beautiful game again in the land of the brave. Now last year MTC announced the sponsorship of $4.5 million per year towards the NFA Cup for a period of 3 years. Now we are going to give the players an opportunity to compete and realize their dreams and to play football, because that is what it's all about. Now we are going to bring together almost 220 teams, which translates to over 4,000 players, and that is what MTC is about. We passed that stage where we want to sell a brand. We are here for the players, Ikanjo said. Now the unveiling of the lucrative competition, which will pit clubs from divisions and Premier League against one another, served as a beacon of hope for many players who have lost their livelihoods due to the lack of football activity in the country. Now teams will have an opportunity to pocket a whopping 500,000 Namibian dollars for the first place, while second place will earn the runner-up team 250,000 Namibian dollars, and the third and fourth teams will win 150,000 Namibian dollars and $100,000 respectively. Now there was a lot of action, football action this weekend as well. You can check it out on our Facebook page. You can check it out on Sport App. You can also check on all other Namibia media social media handles. So that is our news for today. Please stay tuned.
All right, I'm here with Honorable Siska. How are you doing?
I'm well, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing well. So
Lovely weather.
lovely east wind weather we have here, and just enjoying a moment here at one of our local cafes and so on. So this past week we've had a few donations as well from your office as the constituency councillor for Swakopmund. Tell us more about this.
Well, we received funding from the Erongo Regional Council, and we had to decide what we wanted to do with it. And from my office side, I decided to buy food parcels.
Yeah.
So additional to the food bank that's anyway running through our office, we've really found that there's a big need at this stage. I've got so many people coming through my office asking for food.
Yeah.
So we did an additional 54 parcels that we handed out on Friday. And the process for that was just first come, first served through my office since the beginning of me taking office.
Yeah.
So we just went through the book that we had and people that had requested for assistance, so that we at least can be transparent about that. In these times, it's very difficult. People are so needy and hungry, and we need to be fair towards as many people as we can.
All right. How many people received this, and how was it received? Like, was there really some sort of was it apparent that really this food was going to make a difference?
Yes, well, look, 54 people received parcels, but the parcels are quite big.
All right.
It's mealie meal, it's oil, it's these sort of things, but it's the bigger packages, the 5 kilogram packages, and the mealie meal, I think it's the 10 kilogram packages.
Okay.
So it feeds a family of 4 for about a month. So the impact is much bigger than just the 54 people.
Yeah.
And that's what we tried to achieve. And it was a very emotional weekend for me personally after this on Friday, because the blessing is much more in the giving than it is in the receiving.
Yeah.
Because you see people really being so incredibly thankful for this blessing that they've received, and I wish I could do more, and I wish I could give more, and as time goes by, that's absolutely part of what we need to do through my office as well, to make sure that we get donations and to make sure that we get funding to make a real difference. We're sitting with a 70% unemployment rate. Where will that people get food from? If you're not employed, how can you eat?
Exactly.
So it's really something that's eating at my soul at this stage. I need to help more people and get food and employment to them so that we can make a difference for our constituency.
And these people are obviously also having families, extended families, and families at the north, south, and east. So it's incredible. And you spoke also, or we spoke earlier, about a committee that you also have. And what other projects can we expect from your office through this committee?
Well, we've got the CDC, which is the Constituency Development Committee. That's for all the councillors throughout Namibia. This is one of the committees that's promulgated. And it's a wonderful committee to have, and I'm really trying to utilize it to its utmost. So we've got a lot of the stakeholders, regional stakeholders that join in the committee, like Ministry of Gender, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, Defence. All of these people are there, the police force, so that we can really get down and dig into what's going on ground level in the constituency. And it's amazing to actually come into this and to understand what the needs are from these people that work with the people on the ground every day. So at this stage, we're still in the phase of making, doing our due diligence and making sure what exactly it is that we need to change and what projects we need to bring. And then we'll go into the phase of looking for sponsorships, looking for funding, all of these sort of things, so that we can bring these projects up and running. I've already started with doing a lot of visits. So I've visited the youth hostel, which is in disrepair at the moment. So we're waiting for that to be revamped. It's quite sad to see that building that was built in 1904, really took a beating, because we housed the homeless people there during the COVID pandemic last year, and they've even ripped out tiles of the floor. It's falling apart. It's falling apart. It's really sad to see it. So according to my knowledge, at this stage, the ministry is looking to revamp it a little bit. So that's done. And then I also visited the police station, the central police station in Swakopmund. And you know what? It's very sad. They don't even have a car where they can transport prisoners in, because they don't get funding from central government. So that's one of the things that we need to look at. We need to look at our vulnerable women. We need to look at our homeless children. We need to look at orphans. We need to give a safe place for women that's coming out of gender-based violence situations where they can come to. You know, all of these sort of things, these social aspects are things that we're looking at through the CDC, and nothing happens overnight. So that's why I've also changed our CDC meetings from 4 times a year to monthly.
Yes.
Because then we can really run it as a project to make sure that once we've done our homework and to know what we need to bring, then we can start, you know, running it as separate projects. And I'm hoping by the end of my 5-year term that we would have achieved everything that we're aiming to achieve.
And also, speaking of unemployment, a lot of people are turning to drugs now. Some of them are selling drugs. What can be done perhaps for the victims of this in terms of rehabilitation centers and awareness also, especially like most of the people that are victims are now school-going kids as well, and what can be done maybe to create awareness for them to stay away from drugs and so on?
You know, many of that is also through boredom. So that's one of the projects that we're doing through the CDC, is to try and bring sport back to the community. You know, soccer tournaments, athletics, netball, rugby, these sort of things. So that the kids have something to do in the afternoon. Because in Afrikaans we've got the saying, ledigheid is die duivelse oorkussing. You know, and that's very true. If you don't have anything to do, you'll find something to do, especially if you're a child. And it's not always you'll find the right thing to do. So we're really looking at how we can bring some sort of projects back into the system, where we can, through community development and sport specifically, uplift these children out of those conditions and give them something else to work for.
All right. And obviously the vaccine has been rolled out going on to COVID-19. Is there enough awareness where people can get the vaccine? What is your office perhaps doing to make sure that people also get vaccinated against the COVID-19?
Well, at this stage there aren't enough vaccines. You know, so I think the healthcare workers are being treated first and are being vaccinated first.
All right.
So from my office side, we haven't had any communication from central government or the Ministry of Health as to any rollout that's going to be happening soon. So we're still awaiting for that. So at this stage, I don't think a lot of awareness are being created because we don't have enough vaccines, and we will really cause quite a big stir if many people pitch up for a vaccine that's just not available at the moment in Namibia.
But in terms of COVID-19, what is your word out there for the community in terms of maybe being vigilant and taking care of themselves?
Look, at the end of the day, COVID-19 is just one of the diseases that we're facing in our communities. We've got much worse situations with hepatitis E. You know, we've got tuberculosis, we've got malaria, we've got HIV, all of these things that have been running. And in general, you need to take good care of your hygiene, you need to wash your hands, and you need to make sure that when you interact with other people, that it's done in a hygienic manner. So that we can remain safe, not just from COVID-19, but from everything that's affecting our communities at this stage. And that's where hygiene comes in on a bigger level as well. And I'm working very closely with the local authority councillors to make sure, especially in places like the DRC, where it's very congested and we don't have proper sanitation, to bring sanitation to that, not just temporary, because I'm very much against temporary solutions. I want permanent solutions.
Definitely.
We can't have this thing of tippy taps being put up. We need proper sanitation. We need running toilets, and we need running water for each and every home, so that people can, be more hygienic, and that will solve a lot of our problems.
Right. You've now been councillor for few months. How has it been? Like in conclusion, how has your term been so far? And in conclusion, what else can we expect in the near future?
You know what, coming into this job, I didn't exactly know what to expect, but it's been an incredibly humbling experience, and every day I feel more and more honored to be serving the people. You know, because we're not here for my own gain. If I'm doing this, if I wake up one morning and I think to myself, I can do something for myself out of this, that's the day when I need to resign. You know, so it's really humbling to be working for the people. It's very tough to see the amount of suffering. You know, it's sometimes it really makes me very emotional. It really gets me down to see the suffering, but it's also encouraging, and it's also part of my drive. to make sure that we bring physical change to the people on the ground. Because if we can't do that, then we shouldn't be here. It's difficult through the systems in central government. It's difficult because we don't have funding, but that's part of why we need to change our strategies and need to look in different directions and need to approach corporates and need to approach them about their social corporate responsibilities. And if we can put all of that into one pool, then maybe we can really bring substantial change. Another big drive is to bring employment opportunities to Erongo, not just to Swakopmund. In my capacity as chairperson of the Erongo Regional Council, we as a council are also looking at bringing job opportunities to the region, because ultimately that solves a lot of the social aspect problems that we have currently.
Right.
So to expect from us, keep a close eye on us. I don't want to make any promises, because we're still in the phase through the CDC to make sure that we know what's needed, and then to move from there. So if you check in with me in another couple of months, I'll be able to give you a lot more information on what the CDC is physically doing.
All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay, so with me here is Henry Kemp, who is the head coach of the FNB Kudus rugby club here in Walvis Bay. How are you today, Henry?
I'm fine, thanks.
You look tired.
I am tired. Yeah.
Now, Henry, for the people who don't know who is Henry Kemp, please tell us, where do you come from and where did you start your career as a coach?
Well, I was in Academia High School in Windhoek and I finished matric in 1989, and then from there I went to Johannesburg, where I studied to be a teacher, and then part of the teacher's course was to be a coach. So we started coaching, and then in 1994, when I started as teacher, I coached Victoria Technical High School, and then a couple of teams coached through the years, and then I quit for a couple of years, and then I started in 2008 at Educate Academy. I've coached all the Namibian school sides under 16 for the Grand Como, and then the Craven Week from 2009 up to 2017, and then I was fortunate enough to be part of the World Cup squad that went to London
Wow.
in 2015 to coach the forwards for the Namibian World Cup side under Phil Davis.
Nice, and now you are here in Walvis Bay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think we're very lucky to have you, especially on the sporting front. Now, Henry, you're now the head coach. You're appointed as the head coach of the FNB Kudus Rugby Club. Working with the guys the past few weeks, and I know last year we didn't have anything, nothing, like absolutely nothing. How are you perceiving the team?
Well, to be honest, we've got lots of talent here. We've got lots of individuals. These guys know how to play rugby. The biggest, how can I say, the challenge for me is to get the team, to get them slotted in as a team, to get all the talent working together in one straight line to see how we can achieve our outcomes. We want to play good rugby, good running rugby. We struggle on the forward side. We're not that heavy on the forwards like most of the teams back in Windhoek. But as far as ball skills and determination, these guys are up there with the rest of them. So it's just to mold the team into one tight-knit unit, and then I think then we will perform. We cannot predict anything for the league, as we do not know what the other teams have, but we just want to work on our own thing and see how we can improve ourselves and see if we can every game do a bit better than the previous one.
Cool. Now, COVID-19 aside, like pretending now it doesn't exist, where would you like to see the Kudus rugby team?
Well, we've got a 3-year plan to see where we can end up within the next 3 years. Within the next 3 years, we would like to play in a semi-final at least of the Premier League. Like I said, in certain positions we are struggling to find the right numbers. But as far as, like I said, talent is concerned, these guys have it. It's just that with these guys working in the harbour and on the boats and all that and doing the packing, some weeks you don't have all the players here because they're working late shifts. When the ships come in, they've got to work. So it's difficult getting all of them together every week, week in, week out, and then prepare for a match. Sometimes the guys don't train for a week, but they play this Saturday. So that's where we struggle to get continuity. But we have enough players here. We have enough talent to be a good threat to the teams from outside Walvis Bay.
Cool. Now, Henry, who is assisting you in a coaching perspective with the team?
Yeah, we've got Abram. He's mostly helping with the warm-ups and the fitness, and he stands in for the backs as well as the forwards when one of the coaches can't be here because the coaches work as well.
Yes.
And then we've got Herman Grobler, who mainly focus on the forwards, and then between the three of us we work on the system and we work nicely together. It's just to get everybody here at the training session, because sometimes they're on the mines and the other one at school, and myself sometimes can't rugby here, so it's just to get that fluency of having everybody at the field week in, week out. But that's a challenge we'll have to settle for, hopefully within the next couple of weeks. As the league starts on the 10th of April, we're playing Grootfontein here in Walvis Bay, and that's going to be a tough one. I've heard what they've done to the other teams already, and we haven't had a game yet. We're playing tomorrow against Sparta, so hopefully we can build something there.
Aha. Now, Henry, if you retire one day and you look back, what would you have liked to have achieved with the team?
Well, for me, it's about putting back into the community. I was fortunate enough to have good coaches. I've had coaches that believed in me, and that forces you to basically focus on yourself and see where you can improve. So I just want the players to do that. If everybody can improve over time, then eventually over time the team will improve, and then the vision of Kudus and the way that they have been seen in the community will grow as well. There's a lot of spectators here that want to see Kudus play.
Yes.
We struggle to maintain the total number of people here at 50, but
definitely
we'll manage that when we get there. But it's going to be good. I think it's a huge opportunity tomorrow night for the boys, as well as for Kudus, as well as for Sparta. But we're looking forward to that. Now I just want to see the boys improve. I think there's a lot of players in Namibia that with the correct coaching and the correct motivation can be just as good as any other player in the world, but that takes time.
No, definitely.
Program takes time.
Definitely. And then just finally, Henry, how would you describe your coaching style?
Oh, well, I like the players to be themselves and live them out in the systems we provide. So most of the time, coaches normally tell the players what to do. I like the players to challenge me and challenge my ideas so that I can find them comfortable in the way that we want to play. Eventually, it's about fun. Every player plays because he wants to have fun. A player like Kieran Reid always had a smile on his face while playing for the All Blacks, win or lose, and that's why we play rugby. It's about enjoying the game. So I want these guys to enjoy the game and really focus on the team and all that.
Cool. Thank you so much, Henry.
No problem. Thank you.
I'm Habare Doises. I'm the Chief Regional Officer at Erongo Regional Council, and I'm the Chairperson of the Erongo Regional Road Safety Forum. Today, I want to share a few road safety tips. Always wear your safety belt. Make sure that you have the correct tire pressure. Always have your first aid kit handy. Don't text whilst you are driving. Avoid any disruptions and keep your cell phone at a safe place. Be cautious of bad weather and poor road conditions. Don't drink and drive.
And now it is time for your weather and tides for all the major towns here in the Erongo region. Unfortunately, that brings us to the end of today's episode of Erongo Talk, but you can always check out our website. That is www.erongo.com.na. That's www.erongo.com.na for all the latest news that's happening right here in the Erongo region. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. And you can also get in contact with us at 0811 7040. That's 0811 7040 on both WhatsApp and Telegram. That is also your go-to number for advertisements where you can advertise with us. Now, it's still some lovely east wind weather here along the coast, and I'm along the beach, so I'm going to join myself. Remember to stay safe, wear your mask, sanitize your hands, and until tomorrow, it's bye for now.